Alright, back for round 3. Won the die roll. That's step 1. Step 2, a good opening hand? Okay, alright, we'll keep it. Second Nykthos, always a love-hate relationship in the opening hand. Sometimes it lets you do crazy things, and sometimes it's a dead card. Very often with the new legend rule, though, you just play it and tap it for colorless, and then play the second one and tap it for colorless. But this hand is looking pretty good. I almost want to draw a mana accelerator or something to cast next turn instead of the Courser, so that I get to draw an extra card off of the Eidolon. But since our opponent's playing mono red, we're just going to jam all our stuff. Second Courser, also awesome. And this matchup is usually pretty easy if we have a reasonable draw. The Coursers are awesome. They very often force our opponent to use their Titan Strength as a 2-for-1, especially if they lead with Founder Street or Fire Drinker Satyr. Yeah, snap block. I got this one on backup, so you know, we'll take it. And he doesn't have another 1-drop, so maybe that means he has Rabble Master or something, but we're going to play another Courser, hopefully hit a land off the top. Yes. We are, how you say, doing it! Alright, so we're at 21. Our opponent doesn't have any creatures in play. That's always a good sign. Our hand is pretty decent. This Court of Calling is likely going to be a Doomwake Giant proxy in the near future. Voyaging Satyr. Well, we don't really want to draw that. What we can do is, well, we can play Sylvan Caryatid, play Mana Confluence, make 4 mana, play Eidolon, and then next turn we can upkeep Court of Calling. Oh no, that means we're going to draw the Voyaging Satyr. I guess that's not terrible. It's not great, but well, maybe the top card will be bad, and then I won't feel bad about drawing this Voyaging Satyr. But we do want to just start putting stuff into play, making our Nykthos gigantic. We already played a land, so the likelihood of us casting Court of Calling on upkeep is pretty high, assuming that he doesn't, you know, kill any of our creatures, and we can make a big Nykthos. Goblin Rabble Master. That one's fine. Alright, so both those guys have to attack. If he doesn't Frenzy Goblin, then I'll know he probably has a Titan Strength, but it looks like he actually has Stoke the Flames, and he's probably just going to kill Courser. Alright, so we can make 4 mana off the Nykthos, 5, 6, 7, 8, so we can exactly Doomwake. So that's good. And we also get to draw a card, which is also great. Really just don't want to draw that forest now that our Courser is dead. So Doomwake, draw a card, draw step, etc. Not a bad turn. Oh, Hornet Queen. What up, boo? What up, boo? Alright, yeah, not going to play this Nykthos. Maybe I'll do some cool stuff next turn with a double Nykthos, playing the Hornet Queen or something. But our opponent is not in great shape. Not gonna lie. Not gonna sugarcoat it. Alright, well, didn't even have to cast the Hornet Queen. Let's take a look at our sideboard in this matchup. We have access to the same 4 Nightly Disciples that we brought in against Jeskai, a couple more Doomwake Giants, and a couple Hornet's Nest. And again, we want to lower our curve significantly, so we want to cut our more expensive things. Genesis Hydra is bad. I think Court of Calling is actually good here. We really just want redundancy, and we want to, you know, just get a lot of Nightly Disciples in play. Arbor Claws are big, but sometimes they're actually a liability, same as Polukranos, but worse, since they usually have some sort of threaten effect. The Reclamation Sages can be okay at killing things like Eidolon of the Great Revel, or you know, like a Titan Strength, or not Titan Strength. what's it called? Dragon Mantle or whatever, but actually that might be worth bringing in. We're going to trim the Hornet Queen, and I think we're actually just going to trim all the Eidolon Blossoms. They do draw us cards, but that's not what this matchup is about. It's about making sure we don't die. So we're just going to basically replace the Eidolons with Disciple, the Arbor Colossus, Hornet Queen, and the Genesis Hydras with some Hornet Nests and another Reclamation Sage, and some more Doomwakes. Let's go to game 2. Let's take a look at our hand for the draw. Alright, well this hand is real bad, so we're going to toss this one back. This hand is also real bad, but I think I have to keep it and hope I draw a mana guy. The old triple Nightly's Disciple. We need to draw a mana guy into a land. Hopefully into another land. Well, step 1. Hopefully this doesn't die. There's like a 50% chance I actually just trade with the Fire Drinker Satyr if I have the option to. But, we'll see. He might just kill it and keep me from having the choice anyway. I don't really want to do that, to be quite honest. Alright, let's see how bad the damage is. This mono red deck is really explosive sometimes. Like Monastery Swift Spear into something would be pretty good. I'm just gonna take it. If all he's gonna do is pump and deal me an extra damage, I'm perfectly okay with that, but Eidolon the Great Rebel. Called it. Come on, Reclamation Sage. Not quite. Alright, well luckily it's not gonna deal us any damage right now. But we really need to draw an untapped land next turn, or we are gonna be in a lot of trouble. Or hopefully our opponent just doesn't kill our guy. That's also fine. Just play nothing. Okay, that's acceptable. Land. Rats. Well, we had step 1 of the process, but not step 2, and it looks like we're gonna fall really far behind here, and we have a chance to catch back up as long as, like next turn, let's see, this turn we're gonna take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 damage, maybe more, down to 6. The Disciple will put us to 9, and we'll be able to block something. Land. Alright, we're dead. Well, that was awkward mulligan game. Let's see if we can draw a little better on the play this one. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in the third Reclamation Sage. Oh man, I'm stupid. I forgot to cut the Farika. Yeah, Farika's real bad in this matchup. Always cut gods against really fast decks. So yeah. Okay, well. Silly mistake. But we didn't draw it, so it didn't end up mattering too much. But yeah, the Reclamation Sage is not fantastic in this matchup, but it can come down early. Sometimes kill an Eidolon if they have it. If they don't, it just is a cheap body that you don't mind playing to trade off with something. Who would have thought that a worse Grey Ogre would be good against a mono red deck? All you want to do is trade, preserve your life total, try to get to the lake. Alright, game 3. It's for all the marbles. Okay. Alright, this hand's not bad. Court of Calling in this matchup is almost always going to be either Doomwake Giant or Nightly's Disciple, or an additional copy of Courser. It sometimes acts as a mana accelerator if my hand is a little bit gummed up with guys. It just goes and gets another Sylvan Caryatid or Elvish Mystic or something, but this hand looks pretty good. Turn 3 Courser in this matchup is pretty sweet, especially on the play. Not as good as a turn 2 Courser like in game 1, but can't always have an Elvish Mystic. You do only get to play 4 in this format. Let's see what the damage is, yo. Founder Street Denizen. Awesome. I am very tempted here to lead with Voyaging Satyr to trade, but I guess I'll play Keratin just so he can't lightning strike my guy or whatever. I don't really want to block with the Voyaging Satyr anyway if I had cast it, so I think that means I should probably just play the Sylvan Keratin instead. The third chord is gumming me up a little bit. I really need to draw a land either off the top of my deck with the Courser or just for my draw step. This would be a pretty aggressive block here. If I think I'm just going to take it though. I'm going to let my Courser 2-for-1 him probably. If he wants to Titan Strength to deal me more damage, that's fine. But well, that's not a bad one. We'll start with Courser. If we don't hit a land, we'll play the Nykthos. Alright, Hornet Nest, that's a good one too. Part of me doesn't even want to block next turn if he attacks into my Courser and threatens Titan Strength. Mostly just because... Oh, or he's just going to double Magma Spray it. Alright. Or Magma Spray Searing Blood. By the way, that's not a combo. Magma Spray Searing Blood does not deal me damage. For those of you who are wondering at home. Alright, well we are going to play a Hornet Nest and gum up the ground. Yeah, Hornet Nest is insane against Mono Red. They have to have basically just running oh, what's that card called? Hammerhand? Alright, well we're gonna block Founder Street Denizen, I suppose. Force him to use that. Force him to use his mana to kill my Hornet Nest if he wants to. As opposed to Fire Drinker Sitter, he could just trade off and then deal me damage here. If he wants to just give me a free roll Hornet, I'm fine with that too. Yeah, so I basically get to prevent damage, and then I get 2/1/1s that can help me Court of Calling, or just, you know, block and trade up. So, well, Doomwake, that's not bad. So I can Chord for 3 right now if I really wanted to. But I think I'm just going to play Voyaging Satyr and pass. And depending on what he does, I might Chord during his end step for 2 to go get another Sylvan Keratin so I can untap and Doomwake Giant. But obviously just all depends on what he does. It's okay to burn chords for mana accelerators if you're stuck on mana like I am a little bit right now. But for the most part, this game is mostly locked up, assuming that he doesn't do anything crazy. You know, these chords are a lot of potential life with Nylee's Disciples. We can also chord for another Hornet Nest in a few turns if we really want to. But I think I'm just gonna... Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just block these two guys, I guess. The old 2-for-1 and prevent a bunch of damage. And I guess I want to go ahead and chord. I may want to save it, though. The problem is if he kills my Voyaging Satyr now, post-combat, then I can't cast Doomwake next turn. So I think I'm going to go ahead and just cast Chord for 2. Just to make sure that I can actually cast Doomwake next turn 100%. Let's go get another Sylvan Keratin, untap, cast Doomwake Giant, and it's going to be pretty hard to lose at this point, I think. Since we're still at 14. We have access to potentially 6 mana next turn. And if he follows up post-combat with another guy or something, then we get to Doomwake that too, most likely. Alright, well, Eidolon, it's not terrible. So we can actually just main phase Court of Calling for Reclamation Sage, but I think I'd rather just Doomwake Giant. Because next turn we can cast... next turn we can cast Courser and Court of Calling for something, and we can sweep his whole board, including the Eidolon. And if he'd play something like a Threaten here, we're still at a high enough life total where we'll be fine, and we can even chump block the Doomwake Giant if we really want to. Oh, I guess we'll just cast another Doomwake Giant. That actually sounds great. Don't even take damage from Eidolon boss, or Eidolon the Great Rebel. If he wants to use a Titan Strength or something to save it, which seems kind of silly, he can, but we're just going to battle here. And luckily we still have this Corsair Crucifix hanging out. Alright, well, we're at 11 from a Lightning Strike. A Threaten would put us to 7. Not exactly threatening. And we can even Court of Calling for a guy now, so. Alright, well, Corsair. Didn't hit a land. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can Nykthos for 5, 6, 7 to go get a Nylee's Disciple, just to make sure 100% that we don't die. I think that's actually respectable. We can attack him for 8 down to 6, but making sure you don't die is the only thing that matters against these mono red decks, so I'm perfectly happy just doing that. Oh, we actually can do it for 5, actually, so that means I should leave one guy back. Or leave one guy up so that I can attack with it. Yeah, so we'll just get Nylee's Disciple, gain some life since there's no Skullcrack anymore. This will put us out of any remotely possible burn range. And our hand... Oh, wait. And we can still play this Lenore Waste off the top too. Gain a life. Since we haven't played a land yet. Temple Malady on top. Alright. It's probably all she wrote. Cannot imagine the red deck has any outs at this point. What do I know? Okie dokie. Well, we'll play a Corsair. And he'll concede. Alright, well, that's round 3. Currently 3-0 and feeling pretty good about the deck. Our draws have been pretty awesome. Some of our opponent's draws have not been exactly stellar, but our deck is really consistent. It does a lot of things really well. You saw in that game we just had Doomwake Giant on turn 4 or whatever, and our opponent couldn't really do a whole lot about it. And we're playing just a bunch of mana ramp and Doomwake Giants, and that's pretty good against a deck full of all X1 creatures. But that'll do it for this round. Check out round 4. We'll be right back.